Have to be on best behavior now.
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Fergus here from NALA. You're very welcome to our webinar this morning on how to use free built-in technology on mobile phones for the adult literacy and ESOL classroom. And we're delighted to have Deirdre Madden here this morning to facilitate. Deirdre is the Assistive Technology Outreach Coordinator with the Access Office in University College Cork. Good morning, Deirdre.
Good morning, Fergus. Thanks for having me on. Delighted.
Thank you. So over to you, Deirdre, and all the best. Do you want to explain about the questions and the
Yeah,
chat and all that?
absolutely. And if I get it wrong, jump in and you can tell me, you can
Yeah.
correct me. So, guys, thanks a million for having me. My name is Deirdre. I actually work with the Disability Support Service in Access UCC, and my job is, if textbook, pen and paper don't suit learners because they have a disability or a learning difficulty, then technology can offer a lot of alternatives. And a lot of what's free and built in and sat on your phones is a game changer. I have reading difficulties myself, and I use these things all the time. Um, we're going to go through what's either already on your phone or what we can install for free on your phone to make reading and writing easier. You're the people with the relationships with the learners. That's the most important thing. You see how you can introduce this to your learners. But it's heartbreaking for me that something is sat in their pockets and people don't know the advantages it can give them. I'll be going through them, talking through them. I'll be demonstrating them. You're very welcome to sit back and watch it and try out the tools later on. If you're comfortable enough with installing apps and that, you can install the apps as we're going along and jump in and ask questions. I know that Fergus will be monitoring questions typed in the chat. If you'd prefer to turn on your mic and ask them, that's okay. And a big thing is there may be a colleague, a peer of yours as an ALA tutor in here that has the answer. So feel free to jump in and answer any of the questions. If I'm not spotting them, you might be better placed because you know the learners, again, you have the relationships with them. So will I get started there, Fergus?
Yep, please.
Great stuff. So I wanted to start with a free app that will go on all iPhones and iPads, and that will go on the vast majority of Android phones. It's called Seeing AI, Seeing Artificial Intelligence, this one here. On the off chance that you have an Android phone or your learner has an Android phone and it doesn't, it's saying that it is not compatible with their device. I've come across maybe two or three. They can install, I have an alternative for Android as well. It's called Lookout. It's the little icon down here. So if you want to sit back and watch, please do. You will be sent a video on this resource afterwards anyway. And those videos have a very helpful shut up Deirdre button and an even more helpful rewind what the hell did you tell me to click on again button. So literally a video tutorial on using these tools. Um, before I go any further, these videos were created, I created them for the secondary school environment. So they do mention junior cert, leaving cert, junior cert, leaving cert. And I understand that can be a traumatic reference for a lot of people. So I would say if you learned from that maybe, and then introduce them to the learners with reading, age appropriate, developmental appropriate reading materials with your learners. But I didn't do a set of videos for NALA. They were specifically for the secondary school environment. Great. So if you want to install Seeing AI on your phone now, that's the icon you're looking for, and it's Seeing AI, Seeing Artificial Intelligence. On the off chance your Android phone can't accommodate that, if you put on Lookout, which looks like a pair of binoculars there on a blue background. So Seeing AI was actually developed by a blind man for the blind community to do what all parents want to do with their phones, take photographs of their kids. But this man didn't know whether he was chopping the top of their head off or they were doing the bottom right hand corner of the screen or whatever. That's how he started. But then it dawned on him that text is one of the biggest challenges for the vision impaired community. So with this app, free app for Android and for iPhone and for most Androids, you can point the camera at a page of text and it will read it out loud to you. Or you can point the camera at a page of text, it will scan it in, give you a digital copy of the text, and then you can press play on the digital copy and it'll read the text to you while highlighting the word that is being read. And believe it or not, it'll do handwriting as well. So that's the introduction. I'm going to show you rather than waffling on any further. Bear with me for 1 second. And Fergus, you might just let me know if I'm going to put my iPad up on the screen again there now. Needless to say, it's closed out. So give me a shout again there now when you can see my iPad. I had it all lined up. Give it 3, 2, 1 sec. So seeing AI, seeing artificial intelligence, a little blue icon if any of you are wanting to put it on your phones just now. You have the links as well, I think, in an email that
Yep.
Fergus was kind enough to send out.
We can see that here. We can see your hands now.
Okay, marvelous. Great stuff. And the other thing I'm going to do, I put on the background to cover up the mess in my room, in my house. So I'm going to turn that off and be entirely exposed as the messer. The sparkly coats and guitars. There you go. Sparkly coats and guitars and keyboards everywhere. Great stuff. So this is Seeing AI. I'm going to demonstrate it on my iPad. And God forbid I'd have the password sorted. There we go. So excellent. Now, so Seeing AI is this icon just here. Let me rotate that, make it a bit easier. Seeing AI is that icon just there. And when I open Seeing AI, don't mind that black thing, I'll get rid of that for in a second. Text. Great. So could you hear that saying short text?
Just about, yeah, we could.
Okay, perfect. So let me turn that up a bit higher. So this is Seeing AI. When you put it on your phone, you will have to give the permission for it to access. Excuse me while I close the door or kill the dog. Those are my two options.
So as Deirdre said, she's going to send me all the videos and I'll send them on to everyone who's registered for today. So don't worry if you miss something, I will send it on to you.
Marvelous. That's great. Thanks, Fergus. Sorry about the dog. Inevitably, he starts the minute I do a presentation online. So this is Seeing AI. You can see there are a variety of text. There are a variety of tools on the bottom because it's aimed at blind users. If you touch them, it tells you what it is. And some people like that, some people don't like that. It's up to yourselves. That's the tool he developed it for first day. It's the little person tool here. So let me just show you what that does. So you can have a bit, some people are anxious about technology, so if you can get a bit of a laugh out of them at the start, it loosens them up around learning to use the technology. So if I tap on the person and listen to what it's saying, I've turned the camera around to me. Bottom edge, left one face. Can you hear that, Fergus? Yeah?
Yes.
So it's added something onto my age, but obviously it's the condition of me today. So all I did was point the camera at me. I did the person tool. I did the person tool here. I pointed the camera at me, took the photograph. It guesses, it says 17-year-old boy, bottom left of screen, or happy expression on face or something. That's how this man started. But the ones we're going to poach for reading, just grabbing a pen that I can point things out with, are the short text one here. Rotate that a bit better, Deirdre. I think I must have moved the camera. I did too. No, that's better. So short text is the big T and the small t. And with that turned on, when you point the camera at text, it reads it out loud to you. That's the one we're going to do first. So I have a book here on dog behavior. I'm going to point my camera down a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to open up the first page of the book here. So I'm going to go to short text. It'll say short text. Text. Oh, Ernie, go away from me. This is the dog I meant to be learning to sort out his behavior. The book is here. I've got short text. I'm going to point the camera at it and listen. About the author. I was a child on my way to school each morning. I'd pass a house where a beautiful corgi called Misty lived. Can you hear that?
Yes.
And it's literally just pointing the camera at the text and it's reading that text out loud. To coax me document. So this short text, the hint is in the name. It's meant to be kind of for posters or medicine bottles, or sorry, I might come back up here, for posters or for medicine bottles. It's for short amounts of text. And if somebody has a headset on or one earbud in on one ear or something, they can be very discreetly at a shop, in the post office, anywhere that they need to read something, they can be pointing the camera at the text and having it read out loud to them, and nobody need to be any the wiser if they have their headsets on or a little earbud in one ear. Will you keep an eye on the chat for
Yeah,
questions?
so far we've only got Maeve who said, it said I was 12 years younger, so she absolutely loves it.
How to win people over in one easy move. I was an 11-year-old boy the other day. Clearly it isn't perfect, but it was only just to illustrate, one, how he started making this tool, and two, if you wanted to loosen people up around technology, it's a nice one to get a bit of a giggle. So if I go into, that's our short text. That's the big T and the small t just here. Then the next tool is the one that looks like a sheet of paper with the corner turned down at the side. And if you tap on that, it'll say document. Okay, so let me point my camera down again here so you'll be able to see what I'm doing a little bit. I tapped it, so I thought I was taking a photograph. That's okay. To come back, if you take a photograph and you want to come back out, you tap on the little back button up here. I'm going to go to the document. See, it's aimed at the blind community. It's going to talk all the time. So I go to the document tool and listen. If you haven't, edges not visible. So it's saying bottom and left edges are not visible. So if you want to take the photograph, you can just tap. You can tap on the little white dot there. But for our blind users, it'll actually take the shot. I'm trying to move this up so you can see it. Hold steady. It tells you to hold steady once all the edge of the page is in the shot.
Deirdre, we have a question from Peter.
Yeah.
He missed the start of your webinar and he's wondering, is Seeing AI only for iPhone, iPad? Is Lookout the alternative?
So Seeing AI is for all iPhones and iPads and for the vast majority of Android phones. It's just there's one or two models that if you put it on, it'll say, oh, this is not compatible with your device, and we'll do Lookout, which we'll demonstrate in a second. Okay, so and let me know if I'm not answering the questions clearly enough for you, lads. So can you see, guys, how with the document tool, I was able to scan in this hard copy of text, and now I have it digitally here, which is nice and clear and very accessible. And I can also tap on the play button here. I was a child on my way to school each morning. I'd pass a house where a beautiful corgi called Misty lived. Could you hear that okay, Fergus?
Yes.
Great. So, and you can see it's highlighting the word as it's being read as well. In addition to that, if I have my text digitally, and this is just to do with the text being digital, it's nothing to do with Seeing AI. If I don't know what the word, say, coax, see coax there? If I don't know what the word coax means, I can tap on coax and I have an option to look it up where it'll give me a definition in here, or I can tap on it. And I know that you have some learners who English might not be their first language. You can also have that translated.
Right.
So if you have text digitally, you enhance the accessibility of the text 100-fold. But I think the big thing is that you can do play, pause, rewind, and fast forward. Now that's fine for one page. What if I've got a 20-page chapter I want to have done? We can use the batch scanning. We pointed it properly here. The batch scanning is that icon just there, where I'm going to go to page 2 on my book. So my partner's crying now because I've just broken the spine on a book. I'm going to go into the batch scan and let's scan in our second page, do exactly what we did before. I'm going to hold the camera over it. It's hard to do this and do cameras at the same time. Come on, you demon. Even with the curve now, let's see how this works out. Yeah, in these moments I felt, there we go.
Right.
So I have my second page, and you can add 10, 20, 30 pages if you want. So to come back, I'm back to page 1 of 2, and I'm on page 2 of 2 here. I'm just sliding left and right between it. And again, we have our play. You can jump forward. I can hear somebody's using it. That's brilliant. Paula, doubt your girl.
Copyright. Copyright is the exclusive lead.
Excellent. So Now, I'm not getting into the copyright issues that Paula very cleverly brought up, but you can upload that here. You can copy and paste that. Where they save that then is a whole host of IT skills, and they're going to save it into on their phone. They could run out of space after a while with that. They're going to save it into something like their Google Drive or their OneDrive. That's a whole level of IT skills separately. But if it's just to read it there, apologies. If it's just to read it there, let me just get rid of that. You have really accessible text quite quickly. Now, you also need to get used to the voices. And to come out of this, I'm going to tap on the back button. It's going to remind me, do I want to delete the pages or not, or do I need to save them somewhere? So it gives you a little bit of a reminder. I'm not saving that. Sorry, I'm okay to delete the pages. And I come back into my tools. Up in the top left-hand corner, I've got 3 lines.
Yep, we can see that.
Lovely. Let's see if I can focus that a tiny bit better. I've got 3
Yep.
lines. When I go into that, I go to settings.
Yep.
Get rid of that out of the road. I go into settings. And in here, I can speed up the voice or slow down the voice. Okay, we can have it read very quickly. 71%. Or have it read nice and slowly. Somewhere in the middle, maybe. 78%. And if you don't like the voice, if the learner doesn't like the voice, they won't use it. You can go into select a voice. Now, it's going to look slightly different on an Android device, but you will be able to change the pace of the reading and select from a variety of voices. On the iPad, these are the variety of voices. And when I said there's a lot in there, there's a lot in there. And if you want to hear what they sound like, you just tap on them. Some of them are awful, some of them are great. And believe it or not, after a while, you get to know the voices. You're like, I so need to get a life.
Hi. Deirdre, there's a question for Deborah. How do you find an explanation of a word again? She just...
Okay, that has nothing to do with seeing AI. That's just, if you're on any phone, on any tablet, if you pull up, I'm just going to pull up, I've just got something here online. And if I don't know what the word metamorphic means, I tap and hold the word. And I have a whole host of options in here, one of which is lookup. Yeah?
Yep, we can
and I
see
have that
yeah.
in there.
Lovely,
Super.
thanks.
But that's separate to seeing AI. That's on their phone. If they're looking up the RT News webpage and there's a word in there that they're not familiar with, they can tap and hold the word and then look it up and translate it again if you're supporting people who have English as a second language. Okay,
Thanks.
so that's seeing AI where let's go back to our seeing AI so I remember what I'm doing. You do the short text. You do the short text where you point the camera at the text and it'll read it out loud for you. You do the document tool where it'll scan in the document and read it out loud, give you a digital copy and read it out loud. If you know anybody who's vision impaired, guys, they needed this yesterday because it will scan barcodes on tins or on products. I'm trying to get that to focus and it really isn't helping. I think it's because I'm moving it. I'm going to put that down here and push this down better, might be better. That's much better. Okay, so it'll do your short text, your document tool, your barcode. It'll identify scenes. If they photograph scenes for the blind person, it'll identify it, people, currency, navigation, color. But the next one that might be of interest to NALA tutors is getting handwriting read out loud to us. And bearing in mind how variable handwriting can be, I think this is kind of impressive. So I'm going to pull this up again. My handwriting isn't the best and it isn't the worst. So we're going to try and get it to read this handwriting.
Yep.
I'm going to point my camera down again so you can see what I'm doing over here. I go to the handwriting tool, which is the little pencil. I'm going to photograph that text again. So just here, I'm trying to lift this up so you can see it. You need a cameraman for sure. So I just press the white dot to take the photograph. I can't do that with 3 hands.
Processing. Seeing I can read my handwriting. This is very powerful for students who are vision impaired but has huge applications to all learners and educators too. We 11. How did you do?
So it took my well as we 11.
Okay.
That's not bad. for reading handwriting, I think. So any questions on those, guys? Those are the kind of the Seeing AI tools, which I think are kind of amazing. And it restores my faith in people that he did all this work and sent it out to the world for free. Sorry, I'm realizing
You
that.
can unmute also if you have a question for Deirdre.
You please, yeah, because we have a nice
Nice small
reasonable
number.
group. Yeah. Anybody got any questions on Seeing AI there, lads? Anybody getting it to
Is
work?
it free app?
Completely free. I'm a bit cheap. I only do the free and the built-in stuff.
Can it read a website?
No, because we're focusing on the phones today. I'm going to show you how your phone is going to read digital text. So Seeing AI is for external text. Now you can photograph a screen or scan what's on a screen. It depends on your lighting and that. But we're going to show you tools for reading from hard copy, external copy of text, and then from digital text as well. So Seeing AI, its strengths are in reading from hard copy of text. I'm going to show you on the iPad and on the Android phone in a second how it'll read digital text. Is that okay?
Yep.
And I have a load of tools. I'm going to send the emails to Fergus to share with you on that. There's only so much we can cover really in an hour. Are we okay so to move on from Seeing AI? Has anybody got any other questions?
No more questions there.
Magic?
Deirdre.
So I don't know who asked that last question, but it's as if I paid you. We're now
Gemma.
going to, Gemma, doubt to Gemma. We're now going to, can I get a thumbs up or a wave from everybody who's got an iPhone or an iPad with them? And again, you need to be aware of, if you're using an iPhone and iPad, be familiar with that, but your learners could be coming in with an Android device. Equally, the Android people who are my tribe, oh, brilliant. I see all the thumbs coming up, super. Be aware of what the other the other platforms can do as well, because obviously your learners might be coming in with a different device to yours. So I'm going to start now with the built-in stuff on the iPhone or the iPad. And then, hi Grania, and then I'm going to do the Android stuff. Is that okay? So we're iPhone and iPad first now. That Seeing AI app works on almost everybody's. We're going to then do the iPhone and the iPad, and then we're going to go into Android. So you don't need to install anything at all now. We're just going to turn on tools that are on your iPhone or iPad. So Grania, seeing as you were kind enough to turn on your camera there, any chance you turn on your mic if you've got an iPad or an iPhone, and then I'll know if I'm going too quickly or too slowly, if that's okay. Is that all right, Grania?
Okay.
Oh, you're a lady. Thank you.
Yep, that's fine.
So if you could go into settings, which looks like that grey little cog down there. We got settings?
Yep.
Perfect. And in settings, we're going to look for something that says accessibility. It's normally a little blue icon with kind of somebody with their arms and their legs outstretched. This one just here. Have you got that?
Yep.
Magic. Excellent. So I go into accessibility. There's loads of options in here to make your device more user-friendly, but the one we're going to focus on this morning is spoken content. Have you spoken content? I'll point it out just here.
Yeah.
Magic. Well done. So if I go into spoken content, we're going to turn on the first tool up there, which says speak selection. Speak selection. And this kind of does what it says on the tin. When you select text on a website, it'll read it out loud for you. And it'll actually read about 36 different languages. So we'll come back to that. We're going to turn them on, then we're going to demonstrate them. The next tool down is speak screen. Turn that on as well, please. Thanks, Grania, you're brilliant. And it says if you swipe down with your two fingers from the top of the screen, you'll hear the content of the screen being read. So maybe somebody doesn't want just a paragraph. Maybe they want the whole website read to them. Or maybe their sight or their dexterity means that speak selection doesn't work. Literally, if they swipe down with two fingers from the top of the screen, it'll read everything. So both of those are turned on. We'll demonstrate them in a second. Could I get you to go to highlight content and go into that? And make sure that that one is turned on, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And that way the word that is being read will be highlighted as it's being read. So for somebody acquiring new vocabulary, seeing the word at the same time as hearing it can be really quite powerful. We're going to come back out of that. So tap on back to come back out. and scroll down. Later on yourself and with the learner, explore the voices here. Because if they don't like the voice, they won't use it. And I'd almost guarantee you, if you like the voice, they won't. It's quite a personal thing. So there's lots to choose from. Play with it later on with a cup of tea or something. Just time-wise, we won't do it today. I'm just letting you know it's there. But could I get you to adjust the speaking rate? If I put it up by the hair, it goes very fast or very slowly. Well done.
Speak selection read selected
Super.
content.
So now Grania has that turned on her device, and it doesn't mess with how she's going to use it. It's on standby for when she needs it. So if I find any website at all, I think Emma was asking about it. Let's look up the RTE News webpage maybe. So I'll just try and find, I think I might even have one. No, I don't. Of course I don't. I'm just going to go in here and look up RTE News. And I open up the website, just trying to find some text. Now, equally, this could be an email, a text message, a form, any digital text. So we'll go into, I'm trying to find a news story that is not chronically depressing. Kind of hard, isn't it? Fertility rate plummeting. I'll be knitting my own grandchildren. Great stuff. Okay, so I've got text on my screen now, and we're going to do speak selection. So we've got to select the text. So to select the text, you tap and hold a single word. You see it goes blue, and you've got your two blue circles. You can expand that selection. And now, because I've turned on speak selection, I can tap on speak and have that read to me. And if you're playing with this, Grania, I'm delighted. Just if you have your mic on, make sure it's text that you're happy to have read out loud. Just
The end of the century.
Well done.
NHS has said, warning that baby booms in developing nations and busts in rich ones. By the end of the century, a major study has said, warning that baby booms in developing nations and busts in rich ones will drive massive social change.
So can you see how that was a certain voice at a certain pace? You saw how you could adjust those earlier on, and I like that it's highlighting the words as it's being read. Any questions on the speak selection, guys?
You can unmute if you have a question there for Deirdre.
Do a course. We have a grand small group. All technology takes a bit of playing with. All technology is a pain in the neck when you're just getting used to it. So it might take fiddling around with it, sitting back and having a couple of news articles read to you in your work. If you've got to have a policy document read by the end of the day and you're going, oh, where am I going to get the time for that? Have the phone read it to you on the journey home from school, on the journey home from work. You never think I was used to dealing with students. Any questions on that, lads?
I presume, can I just ask, I presume it's the same for translation to a different language.
So I highlight the text. This has nothing to do with the accessibility stuff. This is on everything. So if I highlight the text, I translate it, and you can, it's in French. You can then play around with it and change the languages as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And again, can you see what I mean about it? Kind of drives me crazy that this is sat in people's pockets and we're not using it half enough. Okay. Any other questions there, lads? It's working okay for you, Grania?
Hello.
Yeah,
Hi.
I just noticed the languages, there's not an exhaustive list of all languages, especially what we would use with students. I'm just taking Ukrainian at the minute. There isn't the availability for the Ukrainian, so there's a small list of languages.
I don't know, and it wasn't like today wasn't really focusing
just
on languages, on the literacy part, yeah. But I understand. But even just to translate individual words, but Google Translate will do a load of that anyway. I have an app in a minute for doing translation of what you're saying, but I'll come back to that in a second.
Peter, have you a question?
Peter, the question, yeah.
Not so much a question, just an observation, I suppose. I don't know, you might be going on to do the Android, the similar Android function.
Yeah.
You are.
Remember I said I'm going to do all iPhones at the start, and then I'm going to do Android. But if I do them in between, everybody gets confused. So I'm being really clear about separating them out. Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. I'll leave it on then. So yeah, it's fine. Thanks.
So, but if you're an Android user, you need to be aware of how to use the iPhone stuff for when the person comes in who has more money than sense, who buys the iPhone. So Grania, that worked okay for you. And like, that's really smooth considering it's the first time I used my dishwasher, it took me a while to get to use it. All new technologies a pain in the neck. So I think that it was that smooth at the start is a kind of a really good sign, not just that Grania is fabulous. So we turned on speak selection. So there we selected text and it spoke it out loud to us. Now we want to turn on the speak screen. And this is a little bit fiddlier. I always feel a bit rude doing this one. So with my 2 fingers, from the top of the screen, I do a quick swipe down from the top of the screen. Brilliant. I love it when you're demonstrating it and it blows up.
Common news, sport, entertainment, lifestyle, culture, player, TV, radio.
So can you see how when I swipe down, I get that black toolbar?
Yes.
Play, pause, rewind, and fast forward. And it started to read from the top of the page. Now, when I wasn't touching it, it slides over to the left and it goes pale grey. But I can bring that back by just tapping on it. I can play and pause it. I can fast forward it.
RTE Learn, TV, RTE 1, rotate. FBE, FBE.
Okay.
Podcasts, RTE Video 1.
And I can speed up or slow down the reading in here. If I'm not using it, it slides away off to the left and goes pale grey. Pardon me. Just in case you think, oh God, where's it gone? I can't see it. It goes pales out, kind of quite faint there. And to get rid of it, you just tap on the X and you can pull it back at any point by just swiping down. Lovely. Told you it takes a bit of getting used to. I can't do it with that hand. That's what it is. I swipe down from the top of the screen and I get that. Now she's reading much quicker. Is that working for you, Grania?
Yeah, except I can't find the X again. I've just got the fast forward and back, but it's still, but yeah, it did work. So it's playing around with it. So
yeah.
It did work.
And any new technology, it's I almost call it a courtship period with technology, if that makes any sense. Okay, so now we have Seeing AI that will read from external copy of text. We have our speak selection and speak screen that will read from digital text, emails, forms, websites. The last thing I want to do before we go on to Android is, and some of you may have used this before. Let me just get rid of my speak screen. Have any of you used the microphone down at the bottom in your keyboard before? Yeah? Nobody?
Some are nodding yes.
Yeah, magic, great stuff. So on every iPhone and iPad, whether you're typing into a website, text message, Viber, Google Docs, this is just notes. When there's a microphone lurking on your keyboard, the first time you tap on it, you might get a sign in the middle here saying enable dictation. That's just looking for permission to access your mic, have all the privacy debates you want. They're really important, but if you want to use it, you've got to give it permission. So now I tap on the microphone and then I begin speaking to the iPhone or the iPad, and it's going to start typing what I'm saying almost as quickly as I'm saying it. New line. This is dictate and it is built into every single iPhone and iPad. New line. This thing can type even as quickly as a Cork woman can speak. Exclamation mark, new line. And you can see how that's really, really powerful. My poor spelling doesn't come into it. Now, I would have it read back to me in case it misheard me. And I can see it's already made a mistake with the twins start typing what I'm saying as opposed to it begins to start typing what I'm saying. But we can use our speak selection and our speak screen to read this back to us out loud by doing either our select, tap and hold to select it. And I can have that read to me.
And then I'll begin speaking.
Of course, I slowed her down, didn't I?
It misheard me and I can see it's already made a mistake.
Well done. Or you can do your 2-fingered swipe.
And the twin start.
So you can hear where there's a mistake that you want to go in and edit maybe. Again, none of these are press a button and my literacy issues are gone. They're just alternative tools and they take a little bit of getting used to, but they give me a lot more choices and a lot more accuracy and they speed me up. They make my reading and writing easier and better. Any questions on the iPad or the iPhone, guys, before we come away from that?
No.
Okay, well done. Thanks so much, Grania. You're very accommodating. I really appreciate it. So the other one that is really helpful for, hang on a second now, the iPad, not the iPad, your Android device. I'm just going to, is Lookout. So give me a thumbs up there, guys. Anybody who's got Android devices, because I don't know how anybody affords iOS. Oops. Magic, Peter's with me. And Sadie and Breda and Grace, excellent. I think marvelous. So I'm going to show you Lookout, and Lookout does a lot of what Seeing AI does, and then does something slightly different as well. So find my phone now, Deirdre, would be helpful. There it is. So Lookout, if you want to put it on now and work away with me, great. If you don't worry about it. It's a little blue icon with the binoculars in the middle, and it's completely free for Android. Excuse me. So I'm just going to pull my camera back up again here. Okay. And I've got some of the literature from the referendum that we're going to get it to read. So I'm going to wake up my phone. GDPR be damned. Everybody has my password now. Lovely. Okay. See what I was doing while I was waiting to get into the call, can't you? So here is my phone. Let me just put it down flat. That way the focus is a little bit better. And I'm going to take the brightness down a little bit. That's marvelous now. Great stuff. Fix our focus and then off we go. So Lookout is this icon just here. Please listen carefully, because this is the most important thing for Lookout. It's the shut up button, because you'll go crazy. Otherwise it keeps talking and you'll want to throw your phone out the window. When I open up Lookout, again, the first time you open it, there will be videos or there will be permissions you have to get. But to shut it up, otherwise it'll go, can't find the text, can't detect text. It'll keep talking. To shut, do you hear her? Can't detect text. So I turn it off, I turn the camera off. That is the shut up button there when I turn off the camera, right there. Okay? Marvelous. So when you have your Lookout on your iPhone, now again, remember, most of the Android phones will work Seeing AI just fine. Just in case you've got people that it doesn't work for, you've got your 3 dots up in the top right hand corner. Again, it does food labels, currency, all that, but we're going to focus on text and documents. So if I go into text and I have my text that I was delivered to the door for the referendum, let me pull this up again so you can see what I'm doing. I definitely need a cameraman. Roll it there, Colette, is what I need. I've got the text down here. I'm going to open up the camera.
The proposal. This amendment T, there is one vote for 2 proposed changes. S proposal involves the insertion of additional text to Art C and the deletion of text in Article 41.3 T. These proposed changes are shown below.
And to shut it up again, I turned off the camera there. Yeah? Could you hear that okay, Fergus? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So literally that's like the short text on your Seeing AI. Point the camera at text, it reads it out loud for you. The second tool, I tap on, let's get the focus. The second tool, I tap on the 3 lines up at the top here again. And document is for scanning in the text, giving me digital text, and I can play with it a lot more. Let me just show you. So I'm going to go to document. Come on.
Document.
And again, remember, it's aimed at the blind community. So it's going to be saying things like bottom edge, not visible, top edge, not visible. If you can see the text you want to take to scan in, just take the photograph. So I'm going to turn on my camera. Too close, move device away.
For what proposed changes, the proposal.
Okay, bear with me for 1 second because I want to show you. No, because I was demonstrating it. So now I have a digital copy of that text in here. You can see there's one error, but it isn't too bad. And I've got, let me move this down here. I've got my play and pause here.
Yep.
The insertion of Adelianol Tata Anakia 411 and the deletion of legs in Africa.
Oh, wow. I think that was more my photographic skills than anything else. There's a good few errors in that there. Let me just stick with that. This is a demonstration thing for the moment. I can. Oh, wonderful. Come back into me again.
The proposal in
So I can rewind, fast forward, play and pause. I can speed up or slow down the reading here. I can speed it up or slow it down. And in here, this is where I think it comes into its own, depending on what reading difficulties your learners have. I'm going to go into the settings and I can change the color of the text and the background. I can make the text bigger. With my reading difficulties, the spacing between the lines can make a big difference. And for some people, the spacing between the letters, I can't read that then. So, or you can change it to black on yellow, black on blue, white on black. And then I go back into the text and I can have that read aloud to me. You can click. God, there's actually more errors in that than I'm happy with, to be honest.
vote for what proposed changes. The proposal involves the insertion of
I think it was more my photographic skills than anything else. Is anybody playing with that and getting it to work for you there, lads?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Is it working, Peter? Yeah?
Yeah, I took a fairly plain level 1 reader and took a picture of it. Yeah, it's fine. It works grand. Does it have the same functionality as regards tapping on a word and getting a definition of it? No.
No. Listen, that's just your phone. That's every iPhone, every Android device. That is not Lookout. That is not Seeing AI. If text is digital,
yeah,
and if you can click on the text, you can look up that word. I think.
Oh yeah, I see define here.
Define, exactly. It's define in most Android phones. Yeah.
I was just wondering if we highlighted a durable relationship there.
The best to look. I think you might want artificial. You might want artificial intelligence for that one.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the Google. It just hops into the Google menu for that. Yeah. Cool.
Exactly. But that's why having digital text makes things so much more accessible. Okay. The shut up button is the important one to remember with Lookout. I want to show you now, guys, how to get your Android phone to read digital text, websites, emails. I need a lot of concentration for this one, guys, because all iPhones and iPads are exactly the same. All Android phones are different. So like you could be Samsung, Huawei, Oppo, +1. So yours might not look exactly like mine. So I need you to listen to what I'm saying as well. If you want to, and again, we're not installing, well, I'll keep my mouth shut a second. We'll see how we get on with the devices. We're going to turn on how to get digital text read to us on our Android device. I had a teacher come into a training session with me the other day and she didn't realize she had her mic on and she said, "Oh, you." And I went, "Okay, what did I do?" She said, "The last time I spoke to you, my phone talked for 3 days straight and I couldn't shut it up. And I also couldn't use it because she had turned on something I hadn't asked her to turn on, to be fair. And she hadn't given me the heads up at the end of the training. I'd say that woman had a voodoo doll called Deirdre at home in which she was sticking pins. So please listen to what I'm saying and only tap on what I'm asking you to tap on. She had tapped on a fabulous tool for blind people that just made it harder for her to operate the phone. It's a wonderful tool. It just wasn't what she needed. So you're very accommodating there. Can I prevail upon you, Peter, to leave your mic on and try this out with me as we're going along?
I will try, but I have to point out that I had the very same experience recently myself with the Android phone.
Okay, you turned on a tool. I won't even say the name because if I say it, people tap on it.
Now, just to let you know, because of that, I have everything turned off. So I don't get notifications for WhatsApp, for texts, for anything now. It's the only way I could fix it. Okay.
And you know what? It's a real illustration of it's the IT. This is AT. This is assistive technology or inclusive technology. It's a piece of cake when the IT skills are okay, but we can't assume people have IT skills. It's not on any curriculum anywhere. Oops, 1 second now, we'll come out of that. So if you prefer not to, Peter, don't be under any pressure. Or are you okay
No,
to
give it a go, sure. What's the worst?
We can't, we're not brain surgeons, we're not going to kill anybody, exactly. So if I could get you to click on settings.
Okay. Yeah.
And again, your phone and my phone might be slightly different.
They look exactly the same, to be honest.
That's good news.
Samsung something.
Scroll all the way down until you find accessibility. And
Okay.
again, it's that little person with their arms stretched out. On other phones, it might be under advanced settings or additional settings. So we're going to go into accessibility, and we're not randomly turning things on. So we go into accessibility.
Yeah.
And we're going to look for installed apps or apps installed services or services installed, or it might just say downloaded apps.
I have installed apps.
Magic. So let's go into that. By any chance, do you have something there that says select to speak?
No.
Brilliant. That illustrates what we're doing perfectly. Some phones come with it built in, and other phones like Peter's, it isn't built in, but it's free to install. So Peter, if it's okay with you, could you go back just to Google or whatever, is it Google you use for looking stuff up?
Will I go into the Play Store to download that, is it?
You can go into the Play Store or just go to Google. That makes it way easier because then you're not telling people two different platforms. So if you just go to Google and type Android Accessibility Suite. So some phones, some Android phones come with this, the Android Accessibility Suite built in. Others, you have to install it, but it costs absolutely nothing to install. So if you type in Google Android Accessibility Suite and click on install, yeah?
Yeah, doing it there now.
Marvelous. So what, you can let that install in the background, and let's do exactly what we did before. We're going to go to settings, accessibility, settings, accessibility, and now in your installed apps, I'm fingers crossed that you have select to speak. There you go. I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, so I tap on select to speak, and I need you to listen out to the next bit. I'm going to turn on select to speak, and it's going to ask for permissions to read what's on your screen. Now, I trust this app completely. So when you turn it on, if it's asking for permissions, you can safely give it permissions, and it's going to ask about a shortcut.
Okay.
And ideally, is yours asking for a shortcut that looks like that little man in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen?
Okay, and settings. Okay, yeah, I don't. If I turn it on, select to speak, allow. Okay.
And then I might ask about shortcuts, and it might be a little man in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Anything like that?
Okay, so when I turned it on, it says check your language settings. Your system language is different from your text-to-speech language.
No, you can just you can everything. Yeah.
Okay.
And what I want you to do is when it's asking about a shortcut, some shortcuts are a little blue icon on the screen with a speaker. I'd say yours is going to be that little man in the bottom right-hand corner.
It is, yeah. Okay.
Excellent. So do you have him there now?
I do.
He's now my best buddy. That's how sad my life is. So I'm going, watch how we use him. Let me just get the focus a bit better. Come on. There we go. So I'm going to tap on the little man in the bottom right-hand corner. And I highlight the text I want to have read with my finger. And of course, it makes a liar out of me, so I do it again. Now, when I tap on the little man, I get this up here. Play and stop, yeah?
Okay.
But if I highlight the text, can you hear that, lads?
Select to speak.
Just about.
Tap a specific item, like text or an image. Drag your finger across the
Yeah, we could hear it, Deirdre.
Okay. And well done. Is that working for you?
Yes.
Wonderful. And you can expand it to do play and pause, rewind and fast forward. I can do stop. And then I can go back into my RT News webpage on my phone and have that read out loud, or my email or my text messages, because my buddy is staying there the whole time. I should give him a name, really, shouldn't we? Come on, give me some light-hearted news, please. Sorry, I can't look at the Fine Gael stuff. No. I can't find.
He'll bring it training on Saturday.
Well done. Is that an email?
That's a WhatsApp message.
Perfect. So I can tap on my little man now and select to speak will come up here. I can just tap the screen and it'll read everything, or I can highlight the piece I want to have read to me.
State Board of Pardons and Paroles rejected a last-minute bid for clemency by Pi.
Okay, so now we have apps that will read from external copy of text, from digital text. I now want to show you one for your Android phone that will type what you're saying. Okay, it's slightly different to the iPad and iPhone. It's a different app. You've probably installed it with the Android accessibility suite there, Peter. It's called Live Transcribe. Live Transcribe. The icon looks like a little microphone there with the a page of text behind it. Okay, so have a look and see, is that on your phone? I'm going to open Live Transcribe. And then I'm going to speak to the computer, or to my phone rather, and it's going to start typing what I'm saying almost as quickly as I'm saying it. Live Transcribe was actually developed for the deaf and the hard of hearing community, having their conversations transcribed in real time, whether it's with their teacher, with their shopkeeper, with their gynecologist, with their solicitor. It literally will type everything you're saying as you're saying it. Bonjour, ça va? Je ne parle qu'un très petit peu de français, mais j'essaierai. Because this thing will work in about 70 different languages. It doesn't translate. I'll do that one in a second. Now, if I'm speaking like this then, and I want to put this into my email, or I want to put this into my WhatsApp messages, like we were organizing a funeral there recently, and we were doing the prayers of the faithful, and literally I was reading them out to this, putting in the person's name and the personalized stuff, and then copy and pasting from this into WhatsApp to send on to the different people who are reading. The applications for these things are huge. So to copy and paste from this, I double tap on a word. And I get the option for select all or copy. Now, if you want to select all of that text to copy it somewhere, fine. If you just want to expand that selection and just, just copy that one, you can, and I was listening to me all that time, you can copy and paste that into a Word, a text message, Facebook comment, anywhere at all that you want to put in text. Is that working for you, Peter? By any chance, is it typing what I'm saying?
It is.
Am I that loud? It's a game changer. And you can see it's for the deaf people, it's literally saying what the sounds are around. Let me try this. There we go. I wouldn't try the singing. So then now we have stuff that will read from external copy of text, from our digital copy of text. There's a second tool called reading mode, but I'll see if I might have time just at the end to demonstrate it. But if you've got one that works, get used to that one first. There's one last tool around languages, because I'm conscious that she supports a lot of people maybe who don't have English as their first language.
Yep.
And it's called Say Hi. And it's fabulous. It's also brilliant when you're on holidays. Say Hi is this one here, a little blue circle, completely free for Android and for iPhone. For Android and for iPhone. When I tap on Say Hi, you'll have to give it permission to your mic or whatever, and it'll have two languages up. So it could be English and Ukrainian, it could be Somali and Urdu. You've got your two languages here. I've got English and, believe it or not, Irish up here. I'm going to tap on the English mic, and then I begin speaking to the phone, and it's going to start typing what I'm saying in English, translating it to Irish, and then saying it out loud in Irish. Let's see how this does. And if you want, let me just go back the other way. So if I do this in Irish, Bar lumsa bheith caintas Gaeilge ná spéirle ach níl seans ar bea go mé a cleachtar mar tá mé a choní le fearr ón Alban ar feadh tro bliain.
I'd rather be speaking Irish than English, but I have no chance of practicing it because I've lived with a Scottish man for 30 years.
And like if it's that accurate in Irish, I'm confident of it in other languages. So to change the language, see the little arrow here at the bottom? The arrow here at the bottom of Gaeilge, if I tap on that, it'll do Afrikaans, Azerbaijani, various forms of Arabic. Let's go all the way down here. I know it does Ukrainian, and I know it's accurate in Ukrainian. I was in Vietnam last year. It worked quite well, and Vietnamese is a very hard language.
Ukrainsky.
So now when I tap on the English button, speak in English, it will transcribe what I'm saying in English, translate it to Ukrainian, and say it aloud in Ukrainian.
Тож тепер, коли я натискаю кнопку англійською, розмовляю англійською мовою. Він перекладе те, що я говорю англійською мовою, перекладе українською мовою і скаже це вголос українською мовою.
Not bad, considering it's free, and it would just help with those initial struggles with communication. At the NALA seminar in Cork, Fergus, I was helping a woman whose phone was in Russian, but she was trying to do it in English, and I was trying to tell her, I don't know what to tap on your phone because I don't understand Russian, and I had to use this to tell her. Did that make to tell her that I couldn't understand her phone in Russian? We were outside the venue, falling around the place laughing. And again, I think keep the technology lighthearted and a bit of crack because people can feel so intimidated by it. Have we any questions, guys? I have bombarded you with a lot. Working? Good. There's a lot covered in 1 hour, lads. Go and play with them. See would they make your work a little bit easier. Your just simple date out walking the dog that you can have the newspaper read to you by your headphones. And as you get familiar with the tools, introduce them with your learners. I'm also going to send individual emails on how to talk to your iPhone to get it to type what you say. A simple email, a single email on Seeing AI, a single email on Lookout, a single email on Live Transcribe. So then you have them if you want to share them. In those emails, there's videos going over them so that you can then share them with your learners. Any questions, guys?
No.
Any feedback for me to share this with other people, or easier ways for me to do it, better ways for me to do it? I'm not sensitive at all.
I've just one little question, but you won't have time to answer. I have an Android and I was following you up to installed services, but then there was no installed apps on mine. So I might need to look into that.
No, that's exactly what happened to Peter's. So there weren't any on his. So he went back to Google.
Yeah.
And he typed Android Accessibility Suite. So go back to Google. I'll put it on my screen there again now. I'm delighted you're following along because it's a challenge to do that and take in the training at the same time. So go back into Google and you're going to type Android Accessibility Suite. It'll look like that guy there with his arms out. And Peter installed the Android Accessibility Suite. And I'd say in a matter of seconds, Peter, he was able to go back into his settings, accessibility, installed apps, and then select to speak was in there.
Great. Thanks. I'll give that a go. Thanks a million.
Oh, brilliant, Paula. That's a great question. Thank you. I think we're bang on time, which is unusual for me. Anything else, Fergus? What am I missing? What am I?
Excellent presentation. Very, very clear and very, very good. Thank you so much for that.
The videos in your emails that you're going to get in are way better because they have the shut up Deirdre button, let me tell you. But thanks a million, Paula.
Deirdre, we have another half an hour. Remember you asked for more than an hour.
Oh, excellent. So can I show you the one other thing on your Android? If I understand if people need to go, of course, you've got lives. There is one other free app for your Android device, and it's called Reading Mode. Now, my office, well, I'm at home today with the psycho dog, but my office in the college is alongside a guy called Tom. He's known as Saint Tom because when my computer breaks, I bring my computer into Saint Tom and he fixes it. Everybody should have a Saint Tom. But Tom is a guide dog user. Tom is completely blind, so he uses the technology professionally and personally. And he said that this reading mode is the bee's knees, and he's 1000% right. So reading mode, let me see if I can get that to focus. That's reading mode there, completely free for Android. Again, you have to install it and give it some permissions, but let me show you how it works. So I'm going to go back and find my, Where's my RTE News webpage? Didn't I have that there a second ago? We look it up again. I just want to find some text for it to read. Again, it could be an email, it could be a long book online, it could be anything at all. I'm just going to find text. There we go. Yes, I know you value my privacy, apparently you do. Great. So now we've got a fair bit of text to kind of wade. Oh, that's not actually too long, but it doesn't matter. It's an example. So so Jerry set up the little Manny in the bottom right-hand corner of his screen to do select to speak. And me being the pain in the neck, I have it set up to do two different tools. I can either get it to do select to speak, which Peter mastered there, and I've got reading mode set up here as well. So watch what happens when I go into reading mode for that text. Can you see how, first of all, it tells me that it's a 1 minute read. I kind of like that in itself. I can tap on play.
Members appointed to RTE and TG4 boards. 2 new members have been appointed to the boards of both RTE and TG4. The department.
I'd say it's struggled with Cahir now, to be fair. So the settings in reading mode. First of all, the simplest one is play and pause. Sorry, it's play and pause here, right? To shut it up to get it to read. Then I can go into the big T and the little t, and I can make the text as big and really clear still, or as small as I need it. In addition to that, I can go into the settings just here. And I can play with the audio settings or the display settings. So if I go into audio settings, again, I can speed it up or slow it down. And in here, I can change the voices. And I think the voices are really nice quality. I'll come back to that. But guys, for some of your adult learners, can you see how play in the background is on? So they could be sending a text message while having this read to them, or, you know, looking up the times of the buses or something. Audio plays in the background while you're using other apps or even while your screen is off. And there's a tutorial built into this as well. So I just want to show you some of the voices. It's doing English United States just now. I'm going to do some maybe, and it does Polish, some French, but I'm going to go into the United Kingdom and we'll pick this voice.
Department for Tourism. Culture and Media confirmed the 4 appointments were approved by the government at a meeting on Wednesday morning.
You can see the voices aren't bad at all. So those were the audio settings, but if I go into the display settings, I can have the text blue on a black background, kind of beigey brown on a beigey background, sorry, blue on a beigey background, black on yellow, yellow on black. I can make the text bigger. I can change the font. So, you know, some of the fonts are more useful to some learners than others. If I do Lexend, or we do maybe a lot of people like the Comic Sans kind of one. I can make it bigger or smaller, and I can change the spacing between the lines as well.
Shirley Bradshaw have been appointed to the RTE board, while Muran Nichivon and Eamon O'Hargorn will join the board of TG.
Reading the Irish is a bit of a challenge, to be fair. Okay.
Deirdre, did you see the question there from Gemma?
No, I haven't seen any questions, sorry.
In the reading mode app, it's asking me to go to settings and turn on shortcut. Should she do that?
Yeah, so that's the shortcut that I have here. That's the shortcut just here. Sorry. It's so like different phones will have different shortcuts. I've got the little Manny down here. Other Android phones, it could be a blue circle with a little speaker in the middle. It depends on the phone. So just read what's on the thing and take it one step at a time. Reading mode is quite a trustworthy app. I wouldn't be too anxious about it at all, but I understand people being safe.
Yeah, it's just, sorry, Fergus, I had the same thing. I just did it there, and it's a little misleading in that I was looking for the word shortcut. Oh, you know, I thought in settings, then shortcut, but actually it was just, so you go into select and speak again, and you turn on the shortcut option again.
Okay. Yeah. And so does yours now, Peter, have, when you turn on your little Manny, do you have the 2 options?
the two options are there. Yeah.
Magic. Excellent.
So
And all new technology takes a bit of playing with.
Yeah. So just what I learned there is Select and Speak is more for communication apps like WhatsApp and text and that, and reading mode then seems to be for like that. I've just heard
for large volumes of text. Yeah.
I did a kind of a sporting thing up here, and it's perfect for that. So yeah, depending on what you do, I suppose.
Depending on the task, absolutely. Like, do you know the two-fingered swipe in the iPad, right? I'm in a choir, and I'm with an emeritus professor of dentistry who's losing his sight, right? He's a fabulous man. I'm weak for him. But I had taught him how to do that two-fingered swipe to read. He was reading people's thesis, so it was fabulous for that. But then he went into our WhatsApp group, and when he swiped from the top of the screen, it started to reading the WhatsApp messages that are there since COVID, since we started. So it went all the way back up to the top. So exactly like Peter said there, different tools for different tasks. Yeah. So now he's doing this, instead of doing the two-fingered swipe, he's doing the speak selection stuff. Yeah.
Deirdre Maeve is asking, how do I get reading mode with an iPhone?
You don't. Reading mode is only for Android, but you've got your two-fingered swipe down. You can also, on your iPhone, you can change the colors. Is it the colors that's interesting you, Maeve? Want to turn on your mic, Gillian? So 1 second. You can, if it's the colors that you like, and colors can impact, there's a light sensitivity, scotopic sensitivity, where not everybody sees black text on a white background easily. So in the settings, if you wanted to change the colors and stuff in the background. Now, can I remember where this
Sorry,
is?
Deirdre, I'm back. Yeah,
Hiya, it's
Maeve here.
Maeve.
Yeah, yes, I got the two fingers down, but then I couldn't figure out how to turn it off. It just took me a minute. Apologies. I have to play with it to get used to it.
And no truer word was ever said. Guys, I'm a bit of a dope, and I avoided getting a dishwasher in our house for years because I'm thick. I thought, there's only 4 of us. For God's sake, there's no need for a dishwasher. If there was a fire in the morning, I would push my family out and I would carry the dishwasher on my back. But when it came, it's a Bosch thing, and all of the interaction was in German. I hadn't a Scooby's notion what I was doing. But for 2 days straight, it took me to try and figure out, how do I get it to change the language in the interface to English so I could use it? But I'm guaranteeing you, I never washed a dish by hand in those 2 days. I left them pile up in the sink. So the same kind of determination with what's going on your phone. You've all had the experience probably where you got a new mobile phone, and within 10 minutes, you're thrilled, delighted. Oh, my new mobile phone is brilliant because the other one has a cracked screen and the battery life of an hour, and this will be brilliant. And then within 10 minutes, you want to throw your new phone off the wall. You have to play with it to get a little bit familiar with it, to find out how it works for you. Never mind how you're going to support other learners in using it as well. Will I go over how to change the colors on the screen on the iPad there, just in case that's impactful for some of your learners?
Yep.
So again, I'm going to go into my accessibility, and there's display and text size. And if I scroll down in there, I can go to Smart Invert, where I can change, it can be pale text on a dark background. There's the classic invert. Turn it off again. And then for some people, color filters can make a big difference to their reading. So if I go into the color filters, can you see that that's at the moment, I'm at the color tint on, and I can have it very intensely blue, green, whatever color that is. And I can make it fainter. And in here, I can change it to pinky reddy. I think the other scale is yellowies. I'll go all the way up there a second. So for some people that find it difficult to read that black text on a white background, that we give everybody text in, and we nearly give people migraine if they have that light sensitivity, they can play around with the different colors on this then. And honestly, that's not on your screen, that's a lot paler than mine. Mine is a vivid purple now. Any other questions, guys?
You can unmute there if you have a question for Deirdre.
Please do. There are fabulous tools in Google for free that allow you to speak to the computer, and it'll type what you say. That'll read from a website out loud to you on a laptop. Office 365 and Edge will translate it all for you. If you click on a word, it'll give you a picture. But I will just send you the links to the videos and that. We don't want to kind of saturate too much. I thought we'd focus on the phones for today. Any other questions, guys? If you have a question, there'll be 4 other people on the call going, oh, thank God they asked that. I wasn't sure if I could ask that or not. You'll spend your time playing with it. You could be out walking the dog having, I don't know, a newspaper article read to you. These are really worth playing with, and so many people have this sat in their pocket and they don't know what it can do for them. And it's quite discreet as well. We had a hurler who his optic nerve was damaged by a sliotar. Now his sight has been quite severely impacted, but he can get around fine. But the 208 and the 205 bus come to the same bus stop for him, and he kept getting on the wrong bus. So with his seeing AI, he looks like he's a cool dude, kind of sending a text message walking down Patrick Street, but he's pointing the camera at the front of the bus, and with his headphones in, it's reading him the right number of the bus. So he hasn't got on the wrong bus since. See the applications, and you'll think of applications I wouldn't have thought of. Just after lockdown, myself and my partner were inside having a bite to eat in a place called Luigi Malone's there by the Opera House in Cork, and this really nice waitress was guiding a man who used a cane into his seat, and she was very respectful and, you know, really, really nice. And she sat him down and handed him a menu, and that man was waiting for his girlfriend or his wife, whoever was coming in, to read him the menu. And I could see the phone turned over on he was at the table, like not 2 feet away from us, and I could see the Apple on the back of the phone. And like Jim was sat across the table from me going, shut up, nobody asked you. It's none of your business. You don't have to interfere with everybody else. And God forgive me, I couldn't stop. I said, please tell me to butt out. Please tell me to buzz off. But just letting you know, there's a fabulous free app for your phone that will read the menu to you. So like, you'll think of applications for this that are way wider than that. That man doesn't have to have his girlfriend read him a menu ever again. And he had an earbud in already, so nobody was any the wiser. It can be nice and discreet.
Deirdre, sorry, Gemma here. I just have
Hi.
one. My webcam isn't working. One
Don't worry.
question. I have an Android phone and I'm just following along here, and I have that little man, the accessibility man, at the bottom of my screen.
Yeah.
I'm confused between choosing select to speak. When I click on him, I get a choice of select to speak or reading mode.
Okay, so it depends on which you like. So let me just get my camera up here again now and twist that around. Perfect. So I have a load of text in here. I tap on this guy, yeah? And are you getting this, yeah? Reading mode and select to speak.
Yes, yes.
So in my head, reading mode, I kind of like Peter was saying, is for a big, long newspaper article or a big, long website. Select to speak might be to read that WhatsApp message or to read that paragraph in that email. So with reading mode, you'll see it puts the whole article in there.
Okay.
And you might have to scroll down to that one bit that you wanted to have read. But if I was opening up, now can I open up?
New members appointed to RTE and TG4 boards.
Can you see how it's reading in the background, and I now need to shut it up?
To the boards of both RTE and TG4. The Department for Tourism.
Stop. Thank you. So now if I wanted to go into, I'm going into WhatsApps here and I'm going, what one is actually okay to put up publicly and that's being recorded? I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one to open. Okay, this one.
Ladies look interesting.
The occasional ladies, is it? That's us going out. Okay, so if I have a WhatsApp message here, I can tap on that and maybe select to speak might be my best message, because then I can just highlight that individual message.
Okay.
She did say she was leaving the group and didn't hang around. Tears of joy.
Tears of joy.
9:39.
You get the idea?
Yeah.
So as Peter was saying, it's depending on the task, the reading task you wanted to do. Well done having them both installed already. Jeez, you're ahead of me. It took me a good while to get used to select to speak before I took on reading mode.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks, Gemma. Have you any suggestions for one another about exercises with which you could use it? Because you're familiar with the learners, lads. You've got the relationships with the learners. No. I'm more than happy to show some other stuff, but I think we might stick to the phones. I just don't want to overwhelm either. There can be a capacity reached, I think, in any one session.
Deirdre, there's a question there from Breda. How do you stop the speaking mode?
So what device are you on and what tool are you using, Breda?
I'm on the Android and an Android smartphone. And I just noticed when I hit the little man and I said speak, I can't seem to get him to stop.
Okay, so you hit the little man, and is it reading mode you're using?
No, speaking.
Select to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so if you, that's the stop button up here. See the red? The black?
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Is that okay?
Yeah. I see where you mean now. Yeah.
Brilliant. The shut up button is the little red circle with the square in the middle.
Grand, thank you very much.
No, that's brilliant. And Breda, if you ask the question, there's at least 5 people going, oh, thank God she asked that. My phone is still talking to me.
Deirdre, can I ask, you know, previously when I had that problem when the little man wouldn't shut up, no matter what I did I install it incorrectly?
No, you used a different tool that I'm nearly scared to say what it is in case somebody turns it on.
Okay.
You use a tool that's for blind people that every time you touch the screen, it tells you what you're touching. Okay. And then it'll say double tap to open.
Yes, it looks very similar though. I think the little man was there as well.
Well, you see, the little man can be a shortcut to any accessibility feature.
Okay.
We're just turning it on for the accessibility features we're covering today.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest that for anyone. It was reading WhatsApp messages at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Peter, that's a tool for people who are blind.
Yes. Yeah.
And learning to use the tool, a big part of learning to use any of these tools is the shut up button as well. And depending on the settings, they might have it set to come in and to tell you WhatsApp message from Fergus, 3:44 a.m. See you at the pub tomorrow or whatever. That's the kind of thing it was doing, I'm guessing.
Yes.
I'm going to say the name of it now. Don't turn it on, lads, because it's a bit of a pain to turn it off. Wonderful if you have low to no vision, but you have to learn to use it too. It's a thing called, you turned on tap to talk, I think.
Probably, yeah.
And you had your shortcut then set up to do that, whereas we're focusing on, so there's 2 different types of read aloud technology. One is text to speech. That's what we're looking at here today, and that's what Nala would, I think, really get great use out of. And the other one is a screen reader, and that's what you had turned on. So it gives you all of the information a sighted person would get, including all the notifications from their screen. It gives them to them hourly.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And it can be bloody annoying.
Deirdre, Grania saying, show us more. Going to be so useful with students, and I'll appear much cooler with my own kids.
It's nothing nicer than rubbing their nose in it. We have 12 minutes. Will I show you how you can dictate into Google Docs?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. And again, I'll send you on videos with this, guys. So I'm guessing maybe some of your learners and yourselves might have a Gmail account. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so in your Gmail account, when you're logged into Google and you have those little 9 waffles up here, am I sharing my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, thank God. Okay. So I click on the 9 waffles up here, and I'm going to go to Google Docs where I can type up something. You can do the same in Word, and believe it or not, you can do it as Squalia in Word. Excuse me. So for anybody who hasn't seen it, this is Google Docs. It's like the free word processor that comes with your Gmail account. If I click on the blank document, you can type in here as usual. And guys, I cannot stress to you enough what a skill touch typing is. I'll send resources on it. But for somebody whose literacy, they're struggling with it and they're not at the typing yet, even if their literacy is poor like mine, I get spell checkers, I get grammar checkers to fix my spelling and my grammar. I get the computer to read it back aloud to me. So I listen for not putting in a full stop for a page or something. If typing is as a backup to typing, let's say, we can click on tools, click on voice typing, and you get this little microphone over here. The first time you click on it, it will say, can Google access your microphone? Have all the privacy debates you want. They're very important. You got to give it permission if you want it to use it. If they're listening to what's going on in my house, they get everything they deserve. I click on the microphone. You can see the microphone goes red, and then I begin speaking to the computer, and it's going to start typing what I'm saying almost as quickly as I'm saying it. Full stop, new line. This is voice typing, and it is built into Google Docs on Chrome. Full stop, new line. I know all of you got into teaching because of how much you love keeping records. New line. Why wouldn't you use this to help make your record keeping a little bit easier? New line. I can then turn off the microphone. Just to let you know, in here, guys, people can dictate to it in all of these languages. Oh, we better turn on English Ireland. There we go. I didn't know they had that in there. There's Lithuanian, there's languages in here. I know there's various forms of Arabic. I haven't a clue what languages these are, but aren't they stunning? I think one of them is Tamil. But people can dictate to the computer in all of these languages. I've also added an extension to my Chrome called Speechify. Speechify. I'll send an email on it. And that's that little beastie over here, where I can then highlight the text I want to have read and click on the play button. And needless to say now, it's only talking into my headphones. But this is worth playing around with, guys, for it to read. I'll stop it again. I love it when you're demonstrating technology and it blows right up in your face. How are we doing for time? We're okay. We're actually okay. So that's quick speech to text and text to speech on Google. Have any of you used Edge? Anybody used Edge?
Yes.
So Edge is like Microsoft's Google, Microsoft's search engine. So if I wanted to look up, we'll just do RTE News webpage again, but it could be anything. Do you want to give me a particular thing to look up, lads? RTE News it is. So I'm just looking for it in Edge. And if I open up a particular article, Coveney rules himself out. Oh, I don't care. Here we go. There we go, lads, electric trucks. So I've got a news article open. Can you see up at the top here, I have an A with the 2 circles coming out from it. So if I click on that now, bear with me, I need to make sure that the sound is actually coming out through, not into my headphones, so that you can hear it. Bear with me for 2 seconds and I'll make sure that you can hear. Oh, what noise the computer is making. Can somebody speak there for a second?
Yeah. Where did you circle where that A was? Did I miss that?
Just here.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It's an A with 2 lines kind of coming out from the top right hand corner. So if I click on that on Edge, I click on that and it'll read out loud. Now where's the sound coming out? Come on.
Dairygold becomes Ireland's first
we can hear that
to add electric truck to fleet. Updated Thursday, the 21st of March 2024, 11:18.
I can fast forward it.
The electric truck will make daily deliveries and collections from Dairygold's Castle Farm Dairy Processing Complex in Mitchelstown, Cork, as well as milk suppliers' farms.
So you can see I can jump around to where I wanted read from. Over here, I can go to the voice options where I can speed it up or slow it down. And in here, I can change the voices. And there's a lot to change the voices from. But what I really like is, can you see beside the A with the 2 lines, it has a symbol with a book and a little speaker down in the right-hand corner.
Yes.
This is Immersive Reader, and it's just gorgeous. So that's the whole website there. And it's remembering settings that I had recently. So I can go into what my text preferences are. I can make the text bigger or smaller. Scroll down to where we have some text. If I like a yellow background and I like Calibri font, make it a bit bigger. And I want it in column style. You might like it white on black. See how you can make it adapted to whatever suits your visual needs. So that's the text preferences. In reading preferences, I can turn on a thing that I love called line focus. So when I click on line focus, can you see how it blots out the line above and below? And then I can click on read aloud. I have to turn that up. Sorry, that's gone very quiet for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'm just going to change the voice. I don't want Richard. We'll do David.
What device are you on now, Deirdre?
I'm just on my laptop.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm using Edge on the laptop, yeah?
Okay, yeah.
So I can have it focus on one line. Sorry, go back into my immersive reader. I can get it to focus on, turned it off, brilliant. I'm going to get it to focus on one line or on 3 lines. If I turn it on, it can be 1 line, 3 lines, or 5 lines. Let's scroll down to where it's actually got text rather than a picture. For some people that helps. If you don't like it, you turn it off. And I understand you work with people that have a variety of other languages. Anybody on the call speak another language well? What language, Fergus?
French and German.
French, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you see if I scroll down to translate, I can have that entire website translated into German.
Yeah.
And then I can have it read out loud to me.
Fergal will read it there.
Erster Milchverarbeiter, der seinen Fuhrpark einen Elektro-LKW erweitert.
Erweitert.
Apologies, Peter, I didn't hear you there, sorry.
I said Fergal might read it there.
I can read the Dairy Gold bit.
Dairy Gold, let's go right to the start. So you click where you want to read from and click on play.
Dairy Gold ist Irlands
Dairy
erster
Gold.
Milchverarbeiter, der seinen Fuhrpark einen Elektro-LKW erweitert. Der Elektro-LKW wird täglich Lieferungen und ab.
Kind of handy, isn't it? And these are like the best kept secrets. My partner works in the same field as me, but he does it in the private sector. So for like kind of blind newsreaders and stuff like that in the BBC. And he doesn't call himself this, but his colleagues call themselves AT evangelists, kind of spreading the good news. So let you spread the good news. Sorry, Fergus, go on.
Deirdre, Paul is asking, does Edge do dictionary?
Oh, well, if you highlight any, let's come back. Just come back to Google, Edge, Safari, all of them will do a dictionary. Every one of them. So if I come back out, say, into the ordinary text here, and I don't know what the word electric means, I can highlight electric. And you can, where's it gone to? Let's translate this selection to German, add to collection. Where's the lookup? I'm just going to ask Copilot what it says. Copilot is the AI.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, thanks a million. I've done this before. Electric. Copilot is telling you way too much about electricity, actually. Far too much. Let's cancel that. Thank you. Let's do it in Google, because I'm guessing a lot more people probably are using Google. If I go into, let's see, our own website. Come on, little device. Suppose I've got so many things open. The poor thing is, if I don't know what disability means, I'm on Google, right click. I can translate. It's already in English. Print dictionary, some there. Search Google for disability. Let me read this. Inspect.
Sorry, Deirdre.
Yes.
If you add the Google Dictionary extension to Chrome,
brilliant.
When you click on a word, it will bring it up in a little box with a definition of the word.
Okay, so just to show people, Google Dictionary
extension.
Extension.
Yeah, and put a little red book icon up on your taskbar at the top, and then.
So you type that into your Google. Oh, and of course UCC is blocking my extensions because we had, the MTU security thing. People are in a bog of sweat over that ever since.
So all it is you get.
I'll do it on my own account here now.
Yeah, okay.
But talk away. No, please don't talk away. I'll be doing it while you're talking.
Yeah, so what you do is once you add the extension, you'll have a little picture like a red book icon on the top of your Chrome, but you don't have to do anything with it. Once you have it installed, when you're reading a web page, you just double click on a word and a little yellow pop-up with the definition of the word will come up, and it'll have an option then to get a more in-depth meaning
beyond the simple one. Like,
yeah.
So if you want to add that to your Chrome, you simply type in Google Dictionary extension, add it to Chrome. Yes, I want to add the extension. Come on, little device, wiki. And now that's the red book you were talking about?
Good, yeah. Yeah. Now if you go back into any page.
Yeah, we'll look up another website there now. I'll go back. I'll go to the DARE website. Oh, dear Lord in heaven. There we go. Okay, if I want to know what education is, right? I highlight the word.
Just double click on it. There you go. Yeah, click back on it again.
I double click on it. And then
just click on it. There you go.
Oh yeah, and there we go.
Yeah, so you can listen to it as well. If for students that don't know the sound of it, it's you get it right back to there.
Education.
Okay.
And the more in-depth one here.
Yeah, exactly.
And it gives you a hell of a lot more information on it then.
Yeah.
Excellent, super.
Handy one.
It's a really handy one. It's lovely. Thank you. Fergus, will we call a halt?
Yeah, we're gonna have to call a halt, I'm afraid.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Everyone stay to the end. So
that's a good sign,
so
right?
much, Deirdre. Your enthusiasm is infectious.
It works, lads. The stuff just works. But can I add one last piece? Downstairs in my closet, I have a sweeping brush, I have a mop, and I have a hoover. They're all fabulous tools. My floors are manky. None of these tools use themselves. It's up to us to use them and how we use them.
Yeah,
I'll have to get one of the robot ones that goes around and does it for itself.
That went down well. So yeah, Deirdre, thanks so much. It was absolutely fantastic. So practical, and I'm sure the comments were coming in all along, even at 12, and some people thought it was finishing. People were saying they loved it. Thanks so much. So thanks, Deirdre.
And I'm going to send individual emails on each of the individual pieces of kit that we've covered today, and maybe a little bit on the touch typing and the file management stuff as well. Just no harm to have them in your inbox. They're no weight. But I just want to show you that I've pulled together all of this into one free technology course on free or built-in technology, and it's literally called Technology to Make Learning Easier. But all the videos mention junior cert and leaving cert, and I don't want to frighten the living daylights out of somebody who's had dreadful experiences with that. But the tutors could go through them and then use those tools with your learners, with exactly like Peter was saying, what tasks they're going to be doing. It's divided up into sections on technology to make reading easier, to make writing easier, to make studying easier, and then the basic IT skills. And for my nagging is if teachers share their learning materials online. But in the reading section then we have videos on how to get your Android phone to read to your iPhone. All the stuff we did today is in there.
Brilliant.
I am going to shut up now, I promise.
Deirdre, thanks so much. So I'll send on all Deirdre's emails to you. So expect a lot of emails from me today or tomorrow. And the video of this I'll put up on the Nala YouTube channel. Deirdre, thanks so much.
Thank you. And thanks to Grania and Peter for being the guinea pigs.
Peter and Grania, thanks a million. Thanks everyone else for asking the questions and giving the comments. It was a great interactive session. So thanks everyone.
Thank you. Great session.
Yeah.
Thanks a million, Maeve.
We have one last webinar tomorrow from 11 to 12 with Kathy Hanrahan, and it's about AI, how we can use it in adult literacy and ESOL classroom. That's on from 11 to 12 tomorrow.
Oh, that'll be
cool. Deirdre, thanks again.
Thanks, Fergus. Good luck. Have a lovely day.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.